Hello and welcome to Conversations with Azu, the Vitality and More podcast. It's always a pleasure to share this space with you all. I'm the founder of Vitality and More and author of Follow Your Heart. Now, this week we're diving into episode 14, How Mindfulness is the New Wealth. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you to my regular listeners for tuning in, and thank you for the newcomers that are interested in coming into these real conversations where I share my wisdom around topics that will inspire you to make an inward journey. Be curious, follow your heart to purposeful living, and find abundance within. I have put a little pause on the podcasting, as some of you may have noticed. That's because I've been busy pouring my energy into my upcoming women's retreat. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for sticking around. And here we go. How mindfulness is the new wealth. You're probably thinking, now, how is it wealth? What is she talking about? Mindfulness, is it woo-woo or is it the new way of being? Now, I like to define mindfulness as a way of cultivating a life with mental clarity, emotional awareness, balance, and harmony. When we have mindfulness in all that we are and all that we do, we can begin to create a life that brings us joy and presence and ultimately freedom and wealth. That's why I say it's the new wealth, because when you're practicing mindfulness in your conscious awareness, in your day-to-day world, you have greater clarity and reduced stress, reduced worries, and reduced anxiety. You are just more present with life, and life is more present with you. Here's the thing. I'm here to encourage you to practice mindfulness, even when you're not doing mindful activities such as meditation, journaling, yoga, craft, cooking, whatever it is that you are free to be in the moment and free from external noise, free from draining thoughts and pressures of the outside world. I'm suggesting that you can be mindful and practice mindfulness just as you go about your day. Imagine waking up in the morning, mindfully moving about, getting ready for your day with slow, mindful movements, thoughts, and intentions, compared to running around like a lunatic because you slept through your alarm. Well, that's not mindfulness, right? And neither is it wealth. Wealth is having the luxury to move at ease, get ready with grace, and dive into your day with an open and refreshed heart. This is wealth. This is freedom and the ultimate wellness. If our mind is happy, clear, and open, our body too is happy, clear, flowing, and we are healthy and wealthy. For too long, wealth has been associated with financial gain and financial freedom. But what's financial freedom if you don't have your health? I'm sure by now you've heard the saying that health is the greatest wealth. Well, it's true, isn't it? You could be the richest person in the world, but be lonely, have anxiety, zero mental clarity, poor self-awareness, be unhealthy, and have terrible relationships. This is not wealth. If we are being mindful in our practices, in our day-to-day lives, we are appreciating the present moment. We are tapping into our inner guidance. We are leading a life full of emotional resilience and purpose, which can then in turn lead to a more successful life and ultimately financial well-being. That's where the wealth comes into it. When you have mindfulness, you tune into that inner voice that feels more supportive of your path. You find yourself, you are in alignment and you flow. Life just flows. Mindfulness does take practice, but it's like gratitude. The more grateful you are for everything in your life, the more abundant you will become. So the more mindfulness you have, the more wealth you will attract. The beauty of mindfulness is this. It helps you appreciate the present moment and find joy in the journey of it, rather than focusing on lack and the future. That is wealth. When you can look around and see the beauty in everything, in everyone, that is ultimately true wealth. I used to believe that wealth and success were solely related to money or financial gain, as I'm sure most of you do. But then I realized that the real wealth was just living, being, sharing my purpose, growing my own organic food, my yoga practice, spending time with my family, and especially my new grandson. This is all wealth. This is the true wealth of life. The tuning into what's important, what comes through appreciation, through awareness, through mindfulness, that is all priceless. That's why it's the new wealth, because it's not just about accumulating the material possessions and things, but the moments, the feelings, the memories, the joys, the pleasures. This is wealth and mindfulness in all its form, my friends. The moment you open your heart to being mindful and present is the moment you understand how mindfulness can be your greatest teacher. And you can navigate and build the foundation for a life that fulfills you, enriches you, and brings you all that you desire. When we practice mindfulness, we are being present with life. We appreciate the smallest things. We just do. I dedicated a whole chapter to mindfulness and meditation in part 3 of my book. When we quiet our mind and connect to our inner voice, we ground ourselves. We open ourselves up to receive new insights, downloads, and messages. It's extraordinary. The moment I learned about mindfulness was the moment I began to show up for myself. I learned that by being present and aware, well, in other words, being mindful, was enough to call in all the abundance, health, and wealth into my life. So today, I invite you to show up. Take the small steps to bring in a little awareness and mindfulness to allow your inner voice to shine through, to guide you, to show you where you need to grow, heal, expand, and elevate. Mindfulness is clarity. It's about listening, tuning in, and paying attention to what's important and how rich you already are. When I began to be more mindful of my habits, my behaviors, I began to shift. I gave myself permission to remove the limiting beliefs that I was not good enough, or wealthy enough, or worthy enough. Mindfulness allows you to see beyond all the filters and limitations that have been placed on you. It teaches you to live in the here and now and just focus on what is right before you. When you fully understand and practice mindfulness, you will begin to expand. You will feel better. You will feel happier. You'll be less judgmental of yourself. When you lean into mindfulness, especially through meditation, you learn to self-regulate and discipline your mind, your body, and your behaviors. Remember that your body reflects your mind. Stress, anxiety, worry, deadlines, challenges, addiction, breakdown, mental, physical fatigue, they're all connected. They're all byproducts of the energy we put out and receive through our thoughts and actions. And then the body displays them in all forms for us, especially when we're not being mindful. Mindfulness teaches us to slow down, to tune in, to pause, to reflect, to have discernment and awareness. This is wealth. When you can make important decisions or business deals from a place of mindfulness and not fear, then you are wealthy. Once you learn the habit of mindfulness and how this can lead you to greater awareness, wealth, health, and abundance, there is no turning back. So please unlearn everything you've learned and learn mindfulness. Learn about presence, learn about gratitude, learn about understanding that wealth is greater than financial freedom or possessions. Ground yourself through mindfulness, anchor yourself through mindfulness, and see how things will change for you. See how life shows up differently for you. See the magic of just being you and being fully present. Learn to welcome your day and everything or everyone through mindfulness. It's not easy at first, but a habit worth learning, one that will enrich your life and those around you. I can guarantee you. Mindfulness will help restore your nervous system. It will help restore your well-being. It will help you heal, grow, expand, and become more whole. When we are whole, we are wealthy. We all have different journeys. But the most important lesson that I have learned is to come back to my heart, to come back and lean into mindfulness, lean into what is truly important to you. So let's call in the act of mindfulness, love, connection, presence, awareness, and expansion. Let's be more mindful. Let's see and really tap into the idea that mindfulness is the new wealth. Let's conclude today with the new narrative that mindfulness is not only happiness and health, but it's wealth. As you move through your day, be mindful of the moments, of what you're feeling, seeing, sensing, with no judgment. Tune into this way of being. Trust that you can be mindful, even in the most difficult situations. And remember that mindfulness is not only about meditation or breath work, but also a way of being. It's a state of mind, awareness, and feeling that you can have to help keep your body more relaxed and see life through a more nurturing lens. I invite you to be mindful, abundant, tune in, and stop the overthinking so you can be, do, have all that you want and live a life of health and wealth. Make mindful decisions for a healthy mind, healthy and wealthy life. Now, if you love what you heard today, please leave me a comment, rate or review the show. As you know, my podcast is still very new, and each time there is a star rating or a comment, it will help someone else find it and tune in. So for that, I thank you. I thank you for tuning in. I know that you are on an expansion and a journey towards wholeness and awareness and well-being. So until next time, stay happy, be mindful, and follow your heart. Namaste, friends.